I have good news and bad news. I'm sure you want to hear the good news first. Emily is almost here, and she could probably help me out with the book. Bad news. I'm not sure if she can get inside, or if I can get outside, because overnight, the book's tendrils decided it would be a nice idea to turn my house into a maze of vines and tendrils. You don't want to know how long it took me to even get out of my room. A whole hour. And it took me all morning to even get downstairs. I managed to get into the living room and the book is wrapped in a mountain of tendrils, and there's these tiny milk-like dots growing along the walls. So that's great. I didn't even bother getting to the book. There were more pressing matters to attend to. How the hell I'm going to open the front door? The tendrils have grown thick and sturdy because my knife barely made a dent. Suddenly, I heard a sizzling sound from the nearby window, and to my surprise, Emily had lit the tendrils on fire, and she had this weird robe on. "Geez, how bad did it get while I was gone?" she asked, raising an eyebrow to the front door. "You could have burned my whole house down with those flames," I said, rolling my eyes. "It's better than you cutting through all this," she retorted. "Yeah, well, I'm sure the book would just regrow it no matter what," I sighed. "What do you mean?" she asked. "Do you think I haven't tried to destroy the damn thing?" I asked. She was silent, but jumped through the hole in the window. "So, where is it?" she asked. Hours passed, and we eventually got rid of most of the tendrils before anyone outside got suspicious. The only thing left was the tendrils hiding the book from us, and without any mercy, Emily set flames to the cocoon, and it burned through the tendrils, slowly but efficiently. "So, what's with the robe?" I asked. "My grandma gave it to me before she passed," she responded. "Yeah, but why do you wear it here?" I continued. "Why don't you mind your own business?" she shot back, giving me an annoyed stare. "It's not my fault you brought some religious robe thing here," I said, but was cut off by 2 large thuds in the other room. Emily looked expectantly as 2 more people walked into the living room, wearing similar robes. "Okay, what the hell?" I said. "I brought help," she said as she turned to me. "I hope you don't mind," one of them said. "Yeah, we know a couple things about that book you got there," the other said. Wait. You knew the whole time?" "Is that why you believe me?" I asked, staring at Emily, bewildered. "Yeah, and good thing too, because if I was an ordinary nurse, they'd probably send you to St. George's or something," she explained. "What?" I said, thinking to myself, when it clicked. George Rintoro. He wanted me to tell someone. He wanted me to be at St. George's. But why? He already brought me there twice, but the second time, he tried to kill me. He wants me dead. But why? "Hey, snap out of whatever daze you're in. The book is almost out of its little fort," Emily informed me. I shook my head before looking towards the almost destroyed cocoon. I remembered the little dots on the walls, and I turned to them, staring at the now much larger egg thing. "Guys, is it me, or are these things growing?" I asked. They turned and looked in shock at the egg-like things growing on the walls. "We can just burn them, probably," Emily said as she approached the eggs. "Wait, no!" I yelled, but it was too late. The egg erupted in flames, but instead of melting or burning, it started growing and bursting outward. Suddenly, the egg hatched and it was George Rintoro, or some kind of clone. "What the hell?" Emily shouted. Suddenly, a knock was heard at the door. Cursing to myself, I quickly approached the door and opened it, shutting the living room door to hopefully hide the ruckus. George Rintoro stared at me as I opened the door, with a bemused look on his face. "George," I asked. "I hope you don't mind me coming over to chat," he said. I backed up. "What's wrong?" he asked, and then started smelling the air before turning back to me. "Where is it, Kyle?" he asked coldly. "Get out of my house!" I yelled. "No, I don't think I will," he said, raising an eyebrow at me. "Don't make me hurt you, Kyle," he said. "I said get out!" I stopped speaking as I saw someone behind George. My blood ran cold as Henry walked in, as well as Michael. "What the hell?" I said. "I want the book, Kyle. Is it that hard to ask? He asked before continuing. I know you have it, Kyle. They told me. I didn't believe it even existed at first, but unlimited power, unlimited knowledge, all of it in the hands of someone who never opened the book. Pathetic, really. Why don't you give it to someone who needs it? He rambled. What? You're a millionaire. You don't need the book, I retorted. So what if I am? I could become the world's richest and smartest man. I could achieve anything I want with little to no resistance, he said. You're delusional. They are lying to you. Why do you think they aren't all powerful and geniuses? The book just turns you into a monster, like them, I yelled at him. They aren't worthy, Kyle. But me, I'm worthy. I know I am, he continued. How do you know you're worthy? I asked, trying to convince him it's not worth it. You're so stupid, Kyle. Both Michael and Henry weren't able to do the one thing that made them worthy, he started. What? I said, confused. They didn't kill you, Kyle. They tried, but they failed. And that's where you are wrong, Kyle. You're the last obstacle I need to face. So, he rambled, then began to pull out something from his pocket. Stay still and die for me, won't you? He asked, taking out a gun and pointing it at me. Suddenly, Emily and her group opened the living room door and announced, We got the book out of the cocoon! They suddenly saw what was happening and froze in shock. Give me the book or Kyle dies, George smirks. What? Emily asked, shocked. The book. Give it to me, he says, while pointing the gun at my chest. Emily looked at me, and a sorrowful expression was planted on her face. No, Emily, don't give him the book, I yelled, but she obliged with George, giving it to him. Now, let us go, she said nervously. Sorry, I have other plans, he said coldly. We had a deal, she yelled frantically. I don't see where that's my problem, he says, rolling his eyes, and then a loud bang filled the room. As the smoke clears, I see everyone staring at me. I make a confused expression and then look down to see a hole in my chest. I brought my hand to the hole and saw blood start seeping out of the wound. I looked back at George and then to Emily before collapsing to the ground. I don't know how much time had passed, but I woke up on the floor, still in my house, as Emily applied pressure to the wound. Where is George? I asked weakly. He's gone, she said. I sat down on my couch after a couple of attempts and quickly recorded this. Despite Emily saying I need to rest, I don't have time for that. I need to tell you all. I need you all to know because I'm going to try to stop George Rintoro. And if I fail, at least someone knows. We didn't call the police because he would be interrogated most likely, which could take hours. Hours that we don't have. So, we are on our own. Wish me luck. I'll try to get back to you all soon.